I mean, as well as having the baby, you're also having probably one of the busiest years of your career, aren't you?
I think I'm just like every other working mum, though, because I know people will probably see that I'm doing the work more because it's on the telly. But then my next-door neighbour, she's on her feet, working 16 hours as a nurse. And so I would argue that she works harder than I do. And then you've got mums of 7, and their tumble dryer must never be off. Because as soon as I get home, I go straight to the kitchen and then just do the bottles and do the tumble dryer. It's non-stop. But I really, really love it.
And I mean, obviously, you're talking now about after the birth, but you wrote a book about My Bump and Me. Which is actually, it's a very good idea, because it's not only talking you through, you know, the month by month, which normal antenatal books do, but it's your take in it as well.
Well, I kept a diary more than anything, so I didn't know that diary would be published. You can't imagine, you know, because obviously you can't go to a publisher saying, I have an idea, it will be good. You can only just write your feelings down and see what they say, but because it's a diary, it's extremely candid and extremely honest. And afterwards, when I'd had the baby, they gave me a chance if I wanted to look over any bits, and I said, well, that would be wrong. You can't airbrush a diary. Otherwise, it kind of defeats the object of being very honest to people who are going through what I was going through.
And I've had a read through it, and you're very honest about...
a little bit too honest.
Well, no, because, you know, pregnancy, there's some pretty strange things that happen to you when you're pregnant, you know, mentally, physically, everything else, and you panic a lot. And you've been very graphic about your panics and your concerns, and I actually think that's quite reassuring for new mums going through the same thing.
It can be quite isolating because everyone congratulates you on your good news, and you're going home and you're being sick, and then you're trying to be happy and elated, then you're thinking, oh, it's going too fast, can I just take a day just to slow things down?
And everyone thinks that you should be, that you naturally should be appearing like on the front of one of those magazines, when inside, certainly with a lot of people like me, it was, you know...
And then my other half, he thought tough love was the way to help me, and he's kept a diary as well. I've juxtaposed them so you can literally see that men are from Mars, women are from Venus.
What was his take on it all then? How did he see it?
Some days he'd give me a hug, and other days when I needed a hug, it would be tough love. Off you go, off to work, you'll be fine. And we moved twice in the time that I was pregnant. So there would be times I would literally, it still is a bit like, oh, I'd be on the floor in the bathroom sobbing, and then I'd think, no, I can't let anybody know that I feel like this, because they'll think I can't cope, and they'll think I'm going to be a bad mum. And
then that's why hopefully you've I mean, I haven't read it yet, but I will, but hopefully you've covered that, because I think that's it, that you know, people have this thing that if I show that I'm not coping as well as people think that I should, that they'll take the baby away and everything.
They'll just not think I'm ready, and then you'll get classics like, oh, you'll be fine, my mum had 7 and she coped just fine, and you think, God, I can't even cope with the thought of one. And then there's other days you're so elated and so happy, and then someone comes up to you and said, oh, you're drinking Diet Coke? Chemicals, you know what that'll do to your baby.
And also, do you cover the fact that, you know, a lot of us get pregnant when we aren't quite planning to?
Yes.
And you might have had a little bit of a boozy time before.
I found out that I was pregnant, and then I suddenly realised, oh my goodness, coming out of the jungle, New Year's Eve, I've pickled the baby. All the champagne I've had, I've pickled the baby. And so all these fears come forward again. Am I ready to do this? Everybody seems to be so good at being a mum. I remember giving you a lift home, and it just seemed like a breeze for you. And now I realise just even trying to get into the back of a car is hard
Actually,
work.
I was massively pregnant, wasn't I, when you gave me a lift? I could barely fit in the front seat of your car.
So I just pushed you in the back.
I know. But I mean, not only content with bringing out a book, presenting, you've also got a CD out as well, Mylene's Music for Mothers. What's different about this? Is this soothing pieces of music for new mums?
Well, at the time, I'm doing a series of albums, and I was told never sing or write about something that you've never experienced, because it will come across as very false. And so
you waited.
It was going to no, it was going to be music to try and sleep to. At the moment, it's no. I wanted to do something that's going to be relaxing. Something you could play during the night feeds, in my case, that wouldn't wake the baby up, and something on the other CD that would get you out the door.
Are you on some of the tracks, all of the tracks?
I'm on some of the tracks. It's compilation, so I've let the opera singers sing the opera pieces, and then I've played the piano on a few of the tracks as well.
Now, earlier on, we were looking at some red carpet pictures of some extremely gorgeous women. Well, you're one of them.
Oh.
We've got a picture of you here. That was you at the BAFTAs.
Yes.
Gorgeous. Now, I have to say, for a mummy of a 6-month-old, you're not doing bad, girl.
Have you ever, though, carried a stone's worth of baby, got down the stairs, forgotten the nappy, gone back up, realised you left the bottle, gone back up again? You just realise it just does come off, but
so
it's not
that's
easy.
why Amy's baby weight hasn't gone off. We live in a bungalow. You see, if I'd known. Well, Marlene, you're going to be performing for us at the end of the show. What is it that you're going to be performing?
I'm going to play at Leonard Bernstein's America. It's something I always wanted to play, and during my pregnancy, I had such severe baby brain, I couldn't even remember what note to start on half the time, let alone how to get to the end of a piece.
Oh, well,
so
good luck
I set
then.
myself a challenge.
Okay.
Let's see what happens.
Yeah, well, I hope it goes well. This is Marlene Klaas, everyone. Time for a short break, but when we come back, are boys harder to bring up than girls? Back soon. Welcome back to Loose Women, where we've got that Friday feeling. Still to come, music from Marlene Klaas, and everybody needs good neighbours. Ramsey Street's longest-serving resident will be popping in. That's actor Ian Smith. Now, this poor guy has got himself into hot water for refusing to trim his moustache. His employers say he's broken the rules, but come on, ladies, moustaches to do it for you?
Horrible, don't do facial hair, ever.
On yourself or anyone else?
On anyone.
Okay, just checking.
Why? Because of the rash bit thing.
Just don't like it.
I don't mind it. It depends on the person. You know, as I say, I am just picking up on your point. I am slightly worried about my own at the moment. Because it's still but no, I don't mind. Tim's got a little goatee thing like that at the minute, and I think he quite suits it. But it just depends. But of course, when I met him, I think we showed. That's the one we showed yesterday when he was in, bright and breezy.
Whoa. He looks like he's got Benny Hill with a moustache
I
behind
know he does. I wonder who that was behind him. I'll have to find out.
I can't pass
look
comment.
like him.
My dad had a moustache. All his life, all my knowledge of him was so I kind of can only see him as a man with a moustache, you know.
I just think it just depends, doesn't it?
Well, my dad's got a moustache, and I love it. I mean, I remember when I was younger, he shaved it off, and my sister and I freaked out a little bit because we'd never seen his top lip before, and we made him grow it back again because it just looked
Like a
all
different
wrong.
person,
But I mean, I
yeah.
can remember remember in the 80s, Tom Selleck.
Yeah.
He was a beautiful man with a moustache. He's probably the only man who I think who could sort of carry it off.
Sean
really.
Connery he had a moustache sometimes. He was
All right, Sean.
He speaks very well English.
No, I don't like it. I just don't like it when it gets and people have like dinner in it and everything.
no.
I must admit, when my dad has a pint, he does do that thing going, you know, and suck the bits from the...
Yeah, but you know what? I want a nice soft kiss, not a hairy kiss.
No, but they're not bristly when they're a bit longer. That's the point.
What about Des Lynam? He's got a moustache.
Oh, like Des.
Actually, he carries it off well, doesn't he?
Yes, no,
He's
that's
a man who
quite
can
moody.
carry a tash. He got an OBE earlier this week.
Did he?
Didn't he? Yes.
He
yes.
does.
His moustache did,
He's
yeah.
got a twinkle though, hasn't he, old Des?
Yes, and a moustache.
And a moustache. Or a moustache, as our series editor calls
A
it.
moustache.
A moustache.
Okay, here's £3,000 to be won in our competition. Here's the question that you'll need to answer correctly to be in with a shout. What is the main ingredient of a risotto? Is it A, corn, B, rice, or C, lentils? Call 09012 931 941. Calls cost £1 from BT landlines. Calls from mobiles and other networks may be higher. Text WIN plus your answer A, B, or C to 63337. Text costs £1 plus one standard network rate reply message. Digital satellite viewers can enter by pressing their red button now. You can also enter for free at itv.com. Entrance must be 18 or over. All lines close at 1.